Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with session number 1 of the Somerset County Fairgrounds Truck and Tractor Pulls here in Meyersdale, Pennsylvania. On tonight's show, we have the Hot Rod Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks and the Outlaw Street Gas 4-wheel drive trucks. It's going to be a great show, and the action starts right now. And here we are in Meyersdale, Pennsylvania, home of the Somerset County Fairgrounds here. A great weekend of pulling action is ahead of us, and we're going to be kicking things off with the Hot Rod Diesel 4-wheel drive division. Rod Briggs coming to the line, and he missed the last points pull in Fishersville, Virginia, so he has a lot of ground to cover here tonight, but a great running truck always puts down a solid pass. So the light is green on the sled, the green flags are out. Let's see what he can do here. Our first puller in the Hot Rod Diesel 4-wheel drive class. And man, oh man, he gets it out there good. A good run put down by Rod Briggs in that 97 Dodge there. Straight as an arrow down the track. We'll take a look at your replay here. The distance on him, 3:11.04, and he just told the track officials he's going to keep that run. So going to be a tough distance to beat here tonight for these guys. 3:11.04 for him. But man, is there a ton of competitors in the staging area gunning for that number 1 spot. So we'll see if it holds. Next up's going to be Jeff Weimer with the Danser Concrete Bad for Business truck. And a couple weeks ago, he actually got the win in Fishersville, Virginia. We're taking a look at the replay of that pull right now. And man, he was just cruising down the track, put a ton of distance on his competitors, and man, he is on a mission right now. He's a little bit behind in the points race so far, but with a couple pulls left before the season ends, it's anybody's game. Let's see if he can take over the number 1 spot. And it's close. Let's see. 3:09.01, so about 2 feet shy of the leader so far here tonight. But man, a great run put down by that Danser concrete truck. Spinning out hard at the end to solidify his distance there. 3:09.01. And next up's going to be a newcomer here. This is Chuck Baker with an 03 Dodge Ram from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Here he goes. And unfortunately, we had parts come off of that truck towards the end of the run, so he's going to get disqualified here tonight. But if he wouldn't have been disqualified, his distance would have been 297.5, so about 10 feet away from the top trucks in the class. Not a bad run for him. And man, if he makes a couple changes, he'll be right up there in the mix with these top running trucks. So a respectable run put down, but parts fell off the truck. That's a disqualification. So next up, going to be the 1991 Dodge called Bad Company, driven by Joe Espy. A really good running truck from Dawson, Pennsylvania. He had a great run down in Fishersville, Virginia just a couple weeks ago. I mean, every time this truck comes out, it is a runner and a contender for that top spot. So he's spooling up here. The light on the sled is green. The green flags are out. Let's see what he can do here. This is Bad Company, Joe Espy. Oh man, and he did it. 314.74, gonna be your new leader. And if you look at all these trucks, I think the last truck you would guess to be a dominant force in this class would be this single cab truck. A lot shorter wheelbase on this truck compared to his competitors. But man, that was good enough for the #1 spot, 314.74. But here he is right now, your points leader in the class. This is Garrett Brooks, a 2011 Dodge, a good-looking truck right there. And man, it has been a battle for the #1 spot. It started off with a tie in the first points pool this season. And him, Brandon Kipple, have been going back and back every single pool. Nobody's been a dominant force so far. All of these guys are battling back and forth just a few feet ahead of each other. So it's really anybody's game. He's been battling some issues with the truck. Let's see if he got it figured out here. This is Garrett Brooks. And man, he was on a roll. 307.93 going to be the distance for him. But man, you'll see here at the end, that truck just shut off all of a sudden, and he still had a ton of distance. He drug that sled another 20 feet after it shut down. So it's really hard to say how far he would have went if he would have kept on chugging there. But a heartbreaking run for Garrett. He's so close in the points race with some of these other guys. He's got to get every foot, every inch he can to try to stay up there in the top spot. So a tough break for him, but I'm sure he'll be back. And here he is. This is Matt Barrett, down to the wire. A 1999 Dodge from Somerset, Pennsylvania, born in his hometown here tonight. A good-looking machine, and man, he's getting this thing figured out. It seems like every pool he's getting better and better, going a little bit further down the track, getting a little bit closer to that #1 position here. So let's see what he can do here tonight, back it into the sled there. And he's about to spool up and take off here. And he did it. There's your new leader, 318.97. What a monster pass put down by him. Just flying down the track there. Tons of black smoke going out that hood stack there. And man, oh man, is this getting interesting. And if you're new to this class, this is a 1-ton driveline only diesel truck division. You can run up to a 3.6 turbo. So lots of different power levels coming out here on the track tonight, but they're grouping up there good. And here's a guy that just got a motor together. This is Greg Slingloff. The Slingloff team had a little bit of trouble with this truck earlier in the season. They were able to get the parts they needed, put this truck back together, and man, did he have a monster pass a little bit earlier in the night, but has to come back and do it again. Let's see if he can do it here. This is pocket change. Greg Slingloff, a 1997 Dodge. Here he goes. And man, what a tough run here tonight for the pocket change team. Just something you don't want to see. A tough break for them here tonight. They're trying to get that win in front of the hometown crowd. But 187.49 is going to be the distance for them here tonight. I'm sure they'll be back tomorrow night with some vengeance on their mind. But here's a truck we talked about earlier. This is Brandon Kipple, a 2012 Dodge Ram. Good-looking truck coming out on the track. And this is your #2 truck in the points race here for 2023. So he's getting ready to take off here. Let's see if he can get past the leader. Here he goes. Oh man, and what a monster pass. 323.75, and you can see there, he took a little bit different of a line down the track. He started very similar to the other trucks we've seen go down the track so far, and he actually veered toward the right side of the track. Might have been something that got him out there a little bit further, but man, that truck makes a ton of power. Got out there 323.75. And that's going to be your winner here tonight. That was the last truck in the class. So he's going to get it a great class of hot rod diesel four-wheel drive trucks here tonight. These trucks are getting super competitive. This was a new class for the 2022 season. So here in our second year, they are getting tuned and dialed in. So Brandon Kipple going to be your winner, 323.75. Matt Barron gets up there, 318.97. Joe Espy going to round out your top three, 314.74, so a great showing from these trucks. Next up, Outlaw Street Gas. And next up is going to be the Outlaw Street Gas four-wheel drive truck division here tonight. 4 trucks came to participate in the class. We have Dave Millard hooking to the sled right now, the #1 truck in the class. This is your points leader. He's won every single pool so far this year, so he is on a tear. Let's see if he can keep it up. Oh man, it looks like the cameraman made a little bit of an error there at the end of his run. 357.49, and there's only 4 trucks in the class here tonight, so the competitors and the track officials decided just to keep the sled where it's at. These first couple trucks wouldn't be able to come back, get cooled down, and make a good run in time. So we have Bud Harris coming out on the track now, a good-looking square-body Chevy. He's a little bit outgunned for this Outlaw Street Gas class. He's usually a performance street truck, currently leading the points with Northwest PA Pullers. But he came here tonight, a good running truck. Let's see what he does. And not a bad run for him at all. You see this truck's a little bit different than his competitors. Like I said, he pulls in more of a pure street four-wheel drive class. He bumps up, pulls with these guys. But man, the #1 goal of these trucks, it seems like, is to keep them going flat, not having any bounce in them whatsoever, keeping the truck planted, getting all 4 tires on the ground consistently. And Bud's very good at doing that, 289.14. Next up, going to be Matt Mosier with the White Whiskey truck, the 2022 points champion. He's had a ton of different engine combinations in this truck, tons of different gear setups in this truck, just trying to get it dialed back in here for the 2023 season. He's running out of time. He's trying to get up there towards Dave Millard to take over that #1 spot. Let's see if he can do it here tonight. This is White Whiskey, Matt Mosier. And man, did he have that thing cranking. Now, these trucks are used to a 300 to 320 foot track, let's just say. So it's hard to say what Matt did there. Did he put it in a different gear to turn a ton of RPM? He wasn't ready for that long of a track. Did he try something different entirely just to try to get out there? It's hard to say, but 330.49 gonna be the distance for him. So about 20 feet short of the leader here tonight. But a good run nonetheless, turned a ton of RPM. That thing sounded good. And next up is Justin Rhodes. He drives a square body GMC called It's Good to Have a Goal. and his goal here tonight is to take over that #1 spot. He has a new setup for 2023. He's getting it dialed in. Can tonight be the night? Let's find out. And man, a solid run put down. Not going to be good enough for the lead, but good enough for second place. 3:30.71 gonna do it for him there. So Dave Millard gonna be the first puller and get first here tonight. He had a monster pass down the track. So round of applause to him. Here's your final distances. Fredneck takes the #1 spot, 3:57.49. Justin Rhodes, 3:30.71. Matt Moser, 3:30.49. And Bud Harris, 2:89.14. So they're stacking in there pretty good. A great class of trucks here tonight. So that's going to do it for tonight's show, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave, because next week we have the super modified Run What You Brung trucks and the small block high output trucks leading off the show. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you then.